But again, through the good eating and a good strict ketogenic diet and emphasizing more on protein, I must say, uh, slowly it started to get better, and I didn't have to take many osteoarthritis tablets or even stronger painkillers. It took a while, and only like maybe I think it's been 6 months I haven't had to take a tablet at all. So I'm managing, and I mean, it's always there. It's not gonna go away, So,
Yeah.
uh, but if I don't have the pain and I can actually walk again much better and get around, I can walk longer.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of the Meat Medic podcast. Thank you for joining me today. And I've got my very special guest, Elsbeth Roth, with me today, who's come to share her journey. Elsbeth is a 66-year-old, I apologize if I got that wrong. She's got an amazing health story. And, Elsbeth, take it away.
Okay. Yeah, I've come for a long time. I was always overweight. Uh, I'm working in a hospitality trade, and of course, in the hospitality trade, what we have is staff canteens, and the food is not the best. And after hours, what we do, we sit around, we have a glass of wine, cheese, more wine, and so of course, my weight went up, down, up, down. So over the years, I been on every diet you can imagine, and it's been a big journey. Then about 12 years ago, I was diagnosed with lipedema. I was quite big by then, probably about 100 kilos. I don't know what's that in pounds, but in kilos I know. And yeah, my world sort of come crashing down. I didn't know anything what lipedema was all about. I just knew I had to wear support stockings, and that's about it. There was not so much support in those years either, not so many groups on Facebook to look things up. And of course, I couldn't walk properly, so weight went on, and also through menopause, I put on weight. So eventually, I ended up on about 155 kilos, and in the beginning was all right, nothing really ached, but except my legs because of my lipedema a little bit. But then I put my sciatica out, and that was terrible. Finally went to the doctor. He sent me for an MRI, and it came up also with advanced osteoarthritis in my left hip, and I could hardly walk. I was on crutches. The world was even worse. Like I didn't know if I was going to book myself into a nursing home already, and that was 6 years ago. Yeah. Uh, then I just sort of potted along. Lucky I got good bosses. I live from beautiful Hamilton Island. I'm a manager in a hotel, and so I still have to, walk a little bit behind the staff, but I have good bosses. They were understanding of my condition. So COVID come along, and we also went into lockdown. The island shut down, and there's only about 300 of us managers left on the island, and quite nice actually. It was peaceful, no guests. And it was beautiful. And so I thought, oh, I have to stop. I have to go on keto. It worked once before, and I have to do it again. So that's now going back May 2020, 3 years ago. Yes, just over 3.5 years ago. And through a friend of mine, I started keto with a little bit of a biohack. I took taking some ketones as well, because also in the meantime, um, my mom had dementia, and so I also had the blood test done because it can be in the family as well, and my memory wasn't the best at some time, so I was getting a bit worried as well, and through research and my doctor too, so those my nutritionist, those ketones have helped me big time, and then helped me get easier into a ketogenic diet. I studied lots about the ketogenic diet only because I was having a biohack. It didn't mean that I had to eat normal low carb. I actually was doing it pretty clean, good eating. And yeah, I lost weight. It was absolutely fantastic. I've gone off alcohol. Sugar was not really my problem. My problem was more the cheeses and salami. At the end of the day, it's those extras and overeating. That was my problem. Emotional eating. My mom always used to say, "You have to eat to stay strong," and so that's always here in my head. If I'm stressing, I go, need to keep my energy up. I need to keep my energy up, and that's over the years. So I have to come to grips with this still a little bit. So I kept on doing the keto diet, and then I joined lipedema group on Facebook with Megan Pfeffer, yeah, and we all, yeah, I think so, yeah, and we also shared our meals, and we did a 8-week course, and she said, Elsbeth, you need to get off those spinach and oxalates. And I didn't even have a clue what oxalates were all about. I thought, oh, spinach is healthy, like now everybody says, now I know. So I thought, oh, another thing I need to concentrate. So I swapped that with ridiculous, what's it called, that other salad type of thing. I swapped that out and got more into it, got Sally Norton's book, and oh my God, Mind Blown is one of my favorite books. It's just, it's amazing. Also, I must say, I also do intermittent fasting. Without that, I don't think I would have had such a good success. And also one of my favorite books and ladies is Dr. Mindy Peltz. And she's unbelievable and it really helps with her intermittent fasting. And yes, I got onto Sally Norton with oxalates and started cutting out more and more. And my nutritionist, she's down in Brisbane as well, like you are. And he said to her one day, oh my God, I'm cutting all this stuff out. I might as well just go meat only. And she said, well, why don't you, let's see, go on Carnivore. And I said, well, I don't know nothing about it. The only thing I know about it is, what's her name, the steak and butter girl on Instagram, and I can't eat all that butter, I don't know what it could have, how could I do that? And so I did a bit of, because I like researching and, so I Googled away and researched, found a lot of good stuff, came across Dr. Chafee and Dr. Ken Berry, and started binge watching YouTube series and everything. And I said, well, I'm giving it a go. So 1st of May this year, I switched over. And I was always eating a lot of meat, like a lot of protein. So I've upped that probably in the last year big time. And it helped. So yeah, and I always loved meat, so was no big deal with that. So now I'm all carnivore, and I love it. I'm strict. I just drink water, have my meat, and the only thing is I still have butter and the odd cup of coffee. I have to every so often have a cup of coffee. I still have to sort of get rid of that, but I think you can have one not so good thing, but yeah.
Oh yeah, you really don't have to be perfect.
No. Sometimes you have to have one little treat. So I use it as a treat. Yeah. I'm sort of meat only. I don't use much cheese, even though I like cheese. But when you come from where I come from, if I buy some cheese, some good one. I come originally from Switzerland, so of course us Swiss people love cheese. And if I buy a good cheese, I eat it. All right, I eat this cheese, and then I won't cook, and then I have another piece of cheese and make a cheese platter. And before you know, that whole cheese is gone, and it's not good. And so I'm not so much the chocolate or the ice cream and those things. I'm more in the savory type of thing. So I said, oh, well, go very fast past the cheese aisle and the supermarket here on Ireland. And I started cutting out cheese. And now if I go out and there's a cheese platter, I choose that. So it's a treat. So now, yeah, but I can't moderate it. I can't buy it, even Parmesan. Otherwise, I put it on everything. But I just thought, no, I'm not having it in the house, and I don't stuff up, So yeah.
Yeah, no,
And
I mean, I'm the same with cheese. Yeah,
yeah,
it's hard.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But yeah, so I'm only really butter, lots of beef. Like I've got a good butcher on the mainland. The supermarket here on the island is small, and we've got a good butcher here too. So sometimes I get it from here, but I have a good butcher on the mainland in Early Beach, and I get it there. Um, so yeah, and like I find a lot of people. Joined a few groups, and a lot of people they say, "Oh, what do you eat? We need variety." But you know, you actually don't. If you have a good piece of steak or good mincemeat or good sausages. I'm lucky we have a South African on the mainland. He makes beautiful boerwurst, and it's just pure beef and pork in it, and just salt and nothing. A couple little spices, but nothing. Uh, Not no bad ingredients. He makes fantastic biltong. So every so often I treat myself to a snack instead of buying those snack bars. And my new friend who in Western Australia who has the best carnivore crackers. So I do buy myself those little treats once in a while, and that's it. The rest is just home cooked meal, home cooked beef. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, that sounds great. Yeah, I mean, I was wondering what made you go carnivore? Because you went obviously on your booking info, you put that you'd been carnivore for the last 3 months, but you'd seemed to have so much success with keto. Were you stalled on keto? Were
I
you
was
just not
told I was
seeing the benefits?
3, 4, 5 months, not up, not down. I was just totally stalled, and I still got about 20 kilos to go. However, when you have lipedema, it's really hard to lose those last. It's up the top, it's I'm sorry, scroll 40 now. Down the bottom, it's another. It's another situation. It's not so good yet, and
Okay.
that's the hard part because there's nothing for it yet to there's no cure yet. Um, to say I'm sure there will be, and I thought, oh, maybe that will help. But I've certainly seen the through the carnivore, just those 3, nearly 4 months now, um, the pain in my legs has gone. My inflammation has cleared up. I still because it's born on bone. I have to watch that the nerve sometimes gets a bit tucked in, and I have the
Yeah,
moments.
that's your arthritis.
Yeah, for the
Yeah.
arthritis, but it's not the pain I used to have before, and even on keto, I have more pain. And now, I really can say that inflammation is clearing, 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 clearing. It won't be overnight, but it's like after 4 months, I walk better. Like I was limping really, really badly, always on one side, like that, and I got into barefoot shoes, and they're just amazing too. But just in the last 3, 4 weeks, my posture is so much better now with my hips. The doctor was just amazed. I went in the other day, waiting to get my blood results back, hopefully next week. So looking forward.
Sorry about that, guys. We had some recording issues, so we've now switched over to Zoom, and Elspeth was really kindly talking to us about how she was helping her arthritis, and she was just telling us about how her blood pressure was also coming down as well. So, Elspeth, if you can carry on with your story about your blood pressure.
Yeah, so my blood pressure, was very, very high, and actually going back a few years back, I was 180 at some point, and the doctor gave me a angina sticker to put on, and worried and put me on blood pressure tablets, but they just didn't agree with me. They made my stomach really, really sick, and I thought, oh no, I just eat good. I won't take those blood pressure tablets, and I never took them. And so my blood pressure was always around 160, which was always a bit too high, and
Yeah.
and not looking after myself and putting on all this weight didn't help. And then slowly it came down through keto, and it was still up to about 6 months ago. It was still about 144, something like that. And then I had to go to the doctor just the other day to get my blood, get some blood works done, just for nothing wrong with me. But and then it was 119 over 75, and very, very happy with that. So he's really good. He said it's amazing. So that's another good success. And I never had any blood pressure tablets. I just couldn't take them. They didn't agree with me. And so, yeah, even for my arthritis in the beginning, I was osteoarthritis. I was on painkillers. I had to have them. I was on anti-inflammatory, and lucky I had a good doctor. He said, "Oh, we can't keep on anti-inflammatory because of the stomach." So I took them away, and but again, through the good eating and a good strict ketogenic diet, and emphasizing more on protein, I must say, slowly it started to get better, and I didn't have to take many osteoarthritis tablets or even stronger painkillers. It took a while, and only like maybe I think it's been 6 months I haven't had to take a tablet at all. So I'm managing, and it's always there. It's not going to go away, So,
Yeah.
but if I don't have the pain and I can actually walk again much better and get around, I can walk longer. So that's been really, really helpful. So I'm so pleased, and through Carnivore, it's just gone up even just a higher level to helping me get this inflammation out of my body. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's incredible. I mean, you obviously had a great success with keto, 70 kilograms, weight you lost. That's what, like 160, 170 pounds, something like that. I mean, that's incredible. It's just amazing by itself, of course.
Yeah.
And that was helping your lipidemia, but then Carnivore really just stepped it up a notch, and you've lost a bit more weight now. You said you've lost about 5-6 kilos, I think, since you've been on Carnivore now, which is great considering you'd stalled on keto.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
outside of the weight, you've then seen obviously really good improvements with your arthritis, with your lipedema, and with your blood pressure. I mean, 180, 160 down to 115, I think you said. I mean, that's great. 115.75, I think you said. That's almost like textbook,
Yeah. So no, I'm very, very pleased. Everything is just so much better. Like I feel well, like everybody else says same thing. I feel better now than I did 10, 15 years ago. I feel much younger. I feel really, and I'm 66 in a month's time, so not quite 66 yet. So, yeah, so yeah, but that's all right. No, I know, and it's not going to go away. But if I feel that good, I'll probably feel better when I'm 70.
Yeah.
The main thing is what I wanted to say. Like people all say, "Oh, Elsbeth, how can you do it?" it is the why. It's not just food. It is all the why. And you have to have your why. And mine was, I can't go to the nursing home. I can't go through this pain. There must be some kind of thing I can do that I can get out of that pain. And I knew first thing I had to lose weight, and then, or fat, and then after that we'll go to the next step. And so, yeah, so that's always in front. I don't want to take tablets. I don't want to be a burden to other people. I want to be independent. So, and that was the main thing. And with this all the time in front of my eyes, that keeps me going every single day. And I think that's what a lot of people have to do is I hear in our groups say, I fell off the horse, I can't do this, and I have to do it. How can you do it? I can do it in months. And however, they don't have as much to lose as me, or they're in different circumstances. But I said, you have to have your why. That's the most important thing. And I see a lot of people, they always, they go to a doctor. Oh, doctor, can you fix me? Can you fix me? I have it here at work. In the beginning, it was really hard. Like they say, oh, come on, just one glass of wine, just one glass of, no more soda water, mineral water. That's all I'm drinking. And so if we do go out, I always make sure that I'll have the top shelf barrier water on my table, because they buy a good expensive bottle of wine. I'll have the most expensive bottle of soda water in the restaurant. And then they go, oh, share it. No, I'm not sharing the soda water. Thank you very much. That's
They've got
mine,
the expensive wine. They want the water.
I know, I can have the expensive soda water or mineral water. Yeah. And so you have to, like, I learned so much. And I think as well, especially when keto is not easy sometimes, but it is, you have to like a little bit of cooking as well. And preparing, prepping is one of the good things. I always do my meal preps. I work out what I can have. Even now, I know that's what I have to take out of the freezer. My fridge is totally empty now, except what I have for the day. And then the next day, I take something out for the next day. I plan it. I work out. I'm one thing probably in the 4 months, and maybe you can help. Or I still look at my protein. That I don't have too much, but I have the right amount of protein. I'm between a 95 to about 120 for my height and all that grams of protein. So I work it out. And then, of course, I have been also under eating a little bit of fat. I have to learn to have a little bit more and to get into, I think 80-20 helps me most. 70-30, I stay stable. Yeah, so I'm learning all those things. So there's a lot to learn. But thanks to you and Dr. Chaffee, Dr. Camberry, and all those amazing ladies and groups, I'm learning all the time. And I think that's what people, if they want to have success, and they can, if I can get out of pain from what I'm in, I really want to help other people in the same sort of situation. It can be done. That's why I thought, no, I'll go on your podcast, and it might help somebody, and I'm happy if, to help other people, just to be a little bit of an ear. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it will. I mean, I've got quite a few patients with lipedema who are asking me, what is it I can do? And I talk to them about carnivore, and they're a little bit hesitant because it can be, obviously it's a bit controversial. It's a bit it takes a leap of faith, to say, yeah, don't eat all that stuff that actually everyone else is telling you is really good. Eat the things that are telling you are bad, and you might actually improve. That is hard for people to wrap their head around. But equally, I've got a lot of patients, and I'm sure there's people out there listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube that are
Yeah.
going to be a similar age to you, you know, thinking I can't do that. It's too late to change. My blood pressure's too high. You know, I've got arthritis, and you know, all these other things. And I think you're kind of a beacon of inspiration, hopefully for them, for those listening out there that are thinking, no, it's just too hard. I can't do it. You know,
No, no,
I'm over the
no.
hill. I'm past it. No, you're not. You
Yeah,
can, you
I'm
can do
even
it.
exercising. I'm even exercising now.
Amazing.
And but because I'm so immobile, I bought myself a little cubie, one of them little bikes thing, and I'm on there every day. And then through I did some workshop. The mini tramp is very good. And then it was not until this doctor lady, oh God, I can't remember her name. She said every day, and even my brother is very much into gymnastics and walking and sports. He said, yeah, you need to go on the trampoline. So last year I was home in Switzerland. I went on his mini tramp, and then he said, just bounce, just bounce. And so now I do that every morning, 2 minutes, every evening, 2 minutes, and for the lymph, because it's, what did this lady say? It's your health, life. You know, I can't do much yet, but I'm getting better every day, a little bit better on tramp, but it's just the bounce opens up this lymph thing. So I'm doing the lymph, and I'm doing weights, upper body. I can't do too much weights with the legs, otherwise I won't get off the floor, you know. And so I was still, I mean, I'm not out of the woods yet, but I'm certainly 3/4 there, and that's the main thing. You know, it took years to get there, so of course it'll take a while to get better.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you're absolutely right. You're doing what you can. And yeah, you know, if you can't go run a marathon, that's fine. It makes no difference. You know, you just got to do what you can, small bits. You know, get the blood moving, get the lymph moving, as you said. Just doing what you can, and you absolutely are an inspiration to people out there. I'm sure there's going to be people listening, watching this, going, yeah, you know what? Maybe I can do it as well.
Yeah.
Have you had any issues with carnivore since you went carnivore?
Yeah. Even before, I always got leg cramps, and when I go to bed, I must have my drinking water, but then I get up in the middle of the night, which which interrupts my sleep, and sleep is important, of course, but it's very important. So yes, so I do have. I'll get up and I go in the dark to the toilet, you know, but I have to have my water, and my I do have a good electrolyte, and I have my salts, but it wasn't helping. And then I watched your podcast the other day from what's it called again? Say that boron.
The boron. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's also in liver. Is it?
There's some in liver, not a lot, but there is some.
Not a lot. Well, I've been taking some liver powder I got online, and I do take a little bit of liver. I don't mind it. And when I do, actually, I don't have leg cramps. But when I don't, and then when I was listening to your advice, what happened to you, I thought, this is me. It's gone worse and worse. And I'm taking more and more magnesium, and it's not going any better. So I ordered it. So hopefully it comes soon, and I'll see if there's any difference. Yeah. But leg cramps,
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there will be. It's really nice that the liver actually has helped you. I mean, by the time this show comes out, I will have probably done my current month. I'm doing 30 days of just eating mince meat. So whatever mince I can get my hands on, beef, chicken, pork, whatever. Partly because I did that 30 days of ribeye, which you're kind of referencing there, where I spoke about the boron. I wanted to see, because that was, you know, very expensive month. And, you know, we actually realized in our household the amount of steak we were eating. If we switched it to mince, we would save about $15,000 a year, which is insane. absolutely insane amount of money, and we were just like, no, like, we can't keep eating this mistake as much as
No.
we want to. We can't, no, we can't afford that. So I wanted to see what actually happens if we eat mince, but one of the rules I've set myself was to not take the boron. And I'm on now, what's it day? It's 18th of August at the time of filming this. And so I'm 18 days into it. I started at the start of August and I haven't had any cramps at all. And by
Oh,
the last time, this time on the ribeye, I was having severe
rib.
cramps. So,
There must be something lacking in the good old
well,
ribeye.
well, this is the thing, and I was speaking to a patient about this the other day actually, and she said that she used to be working like a butcher's, and or her dad was a butcher or something, and she said, yeah, like I know what goes into mince, and it's literally like any part any part of the animal. And
Yeah,
that's what I figured, you know. So there's probably some other bits that that's going to give
other
like some
bits.
liver and some
Yeah.
offal and heart, whatever. Like even if you don't realize it's in there, it's actually going to be in there. So mince actually might be a good one to be even looking at, and it's
Yeah, and you
cheaper as
can make
well.
lots of things. Yeah, yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
even I buy a fortnight's worth bulk order, and I do get a few ribeyes put in there and mince and
Mm.
all kind of things, and but my food bill is less now than it was on keto
Isn't that interesting?
because maybe because on the island too, it's not us. I only got one supermarket, IGA, and it's not the cheapest, but it's not that high either. And now I do get my meat from the mainland, but I still have to pay transport,
Mm.
coming to on the boat. So, or if I go over for the day, I go to the butcher, of course, but then I still pay to go over on the boat. So
Yeah.
it's, you still have to put that on top. But I do actually spend less now.
Mm.
Uh, I make sure I have good meats, yeah, and not just any, cheap chunk,
Yeah.
which is out there as well. Because I think it's important that it is the ingredients. And I think um, once people cut out all that junk food, it's all the quick packets.
Mm.
Even if they just get rid of those and eat fresh stuff, they can
Yeah.
already see an improvement. And I think that's for me. Um, Eating like years and years eating in staff canteens. I'm sure hospitals is similar. Like
Mm-mm.
in hotels, it's
Oh yeah.
you have a half an hour lunch. You have a half an hour lunch. You go in there. It's all laid out. It's noodles. It's spaghetti. It's always carbs, 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 and then you waffle it down, and
Hmm.
you have to quick eat, and then back to work, and
Yeah.
it's not healthy, and that's why so many people get sick, and especially in hospitality, and it's the same in schools, and yeah, but and it's community too. It's like now through my keto journey, I met unbelievable the friendship I have made just online. It's
Mm.
just it was hard. Well, in the beginning was still COVID, so everybody was locked down, so everybody was more on Facebook and Instagram, and but I got into some community and I made absolutely fantastic friendships. But you
Yeah.
need them. You need that support, and if you just go and the doctor helps you on a diet or different lifestyle and you don't have support, you have to talk about it because
Hmm.
that helps. That helps you get through. It helps you research. It helps you what should I eat, where can I get that? And it's important. Those things are important, yeah. But a lot of people are maybe still a bit too lazy. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, yeah, I don't. It's too hard. It's too hard, and it is not. It's not hard. It doesn't have to be difficult to eat meat. It's
Hmm.
uh, like I used to. I don't know how you do it. I used to always have spices and I love curries. I love curries.
Yep.
I had all my I gave all my curry spices away. My boss is actually from Sri Lanka. we had a other Indian girl here. She taught me a lot of the different things, and yeah, so um, I I thought, oh, how am I going to survive just with salt, you know? Then last year I went home to Switzerland. My brother is a butcher. One of his sons is into meats. He's a hunter. He looks after forestry and all that. So he always brings back the good wild, which is absolutely fantastic.
Mm.
And I would spice it. And my brother said, don't ruin the meat. You don't need all these spices. You just need good salt and a little bit of pepper, and that's it, or
Yep.
even no pepper. I'm
Yep.
going, how can you eat all that? It's got no flavor. And you know now, I put salt on it. I don't even sometimes need salt on my steak. I need it on my mincemeat.
Yep.
And it tastes better and better and better. And I thought, he's right. I have to tell my brother he's right, you know. And and I did because I told you so. I told you so. So yeah. So it's just starting, and that's good because if meat tastes good, you don't worry about it, you know.
Yeah. I mean, it's really great to hear you talking about the actual practicalities of carnivore. Because I mean, you live on Hamilton Island. If nobody out there knows, Hamilton Island is a small island in northeast Queensland. I haven't been to Hamilton Island, but I've been near. I know Airlie Beach. We've been to Airlie Beach a number of times. We've got family that lives up in Proserpine, very near Airlie Beach. So we've frequented there, and you know, it's difficult to get things. People think, you know, Australia is outside of the cities. It kind of, you may as well not even exist. It's just almost, it's very, very difficult. Anyway, let's put it that way. But the practicalities then of getting food on and off the island, the cost of it is going to be higher, as you said. There's only one supermarket. There's no butchers on the island, and yet you're still making it work.
Yeah, yeah, and we're lucky too. Like every time somebody goes fishing, I get fish. I just this weekend we got a big tuna, so I had, and it was sashimi. It was sashimi great. It was amazing. I still got another packet which I'll cook up next week. We have a good fishmonger. He's now on the mainland, but he supplies us with everything. It's all local fish and prawns. So I have once a week, at least once or twice a week, I have fish or prawns or some seafood. So yes, I mix it. So I have fish. I'm not so much into chicken anymore. I don't know why. And I used to eat a lot of chicken, and now it doesn't taste right. But I do make. I've seen a video online. Maria Emmerich, she makes her own deli meat, and I do like cold cuts, and I thought, oh, I might make that. So I rang my brother in Switzerland. Hey, butcher, how do you make this? You know, and he goes, yeah, that's right, do it. So I got myself one of them little things. And it just makes a kilo beautiful ham, and it's just salt in it and a little bit of gelatin in it, and it's just been amazing. So you can make all kind of things, you know, with food and eggs. I have eggs. I make deviled eggs. I make one of the restaurants here makes those beautiful fried eggs, and they boiled fried eggs. And so I said, yeah, I'll fry them in my tallow. And, you know, I just don't have the Thai seasoning on it or the Vietnamese seasoning on it. So I just have it without it. And they taste delicious, you know, so different things. I make noodles, egg noodles, and I have my bone broth in it. And, you know, so it's still, you know, it's just a little bit different, but sometimes you just need a little bit of fat, you know,
planning
ideas, and you see different things, and you can do it. You can easy. It's very simple meals, but I'm full. I'm always full. I've never been hungry. And you know, sometimes maybe I'm eating too much, you know. I worry more about eating too much than and being always full.
I mean, I think, you know, some planning, and, you know, you obviously overcoming the practicalities, and that's great. And I've had people like James, on James, the ex-vegan who was, you know, on Bermuda Island, I think, if I recall, and you know, again, talking about the practicalities of, you know, getting meat. And again, a lot of people just make excuses. I think
Yeah.
really they find a reason why they don't want to do something, and they find a way to then justify that. Whereas you're,
Yeah.
really just saying, well, look, if you want to do it, just do it. You'll find a way, and your health at the end of the day is really what drove you
Yeah.
towards this.
Yeah.
Obviously, you haven't had your bloods yet, so we can't ask you about those. But do you feel like you're healthier with carnivore?
Oh, I feel like my skin has cleared up, my nails are strong, my hair, even in keto, sometimes I had a hard time, especially in the beginning, my hair was falling out big time. And it was not it was under eating protein in 3 years ago. I didn't have enough protein, and then my nutritionist, she said, you have to have more protein, Elsbeth, you're not eating enough. And I was having 60, 65, and that wasn't right. I had too much vegetables. And they also upped my protein, and now it's just absolutely, it's amazing. My hair is so good and so strong, and even here it's growing back a little bit where it was getting a bit thinner. And I everybody had the flu last week. I came through with flying colors. And we're a small team here. And when everybody sniffles around you, usually we all get it. But no, actually, even over the 3 years, but even now, not at all. Not at all. I didn't get it at all. And I feel very, very good. I clear. I sleep better. Yes, I do get up when I have a cramp or when I have too much water too late, and then I do have to get up. But I do have one of them rings I put on at night, and then I measure. I mean, they're not accurate, but at least I can see. Oh yeah, I had 4 good hours. So
a sleep monitor.
Yeah. So even if it was interrupted, I had good hours of sleep. But before keto, before carnivore, I was always napping. And now I don't nap. I have early nights. I make sure I go back early. I turn off my phones. I'm just learning. I got some Blu-ray glasses, and because that's important. Lucky I'm on the island. In the morning I get up and I don't have to go to work, but I can look at the sun, and it's good for you, vitamin D. So I'm learning all these, what's it called? Circadian
rhythm.
So that's very, very important. I'm still not into cold showers. Slowly into that one. And but I think I'll wait for another month or so when it gets warmer, then it's easier to do. But apparently, that's apparently very good as well for lipedema too, cold showers and cold baths.
Potentially, yes. Yeah.
So there's still a lot I want to learn on that, and I'm sure through the right diet, and it can be that it can shift a little bit as well. So
what would you say to anyone potentially thinking about doing the carnivore diet, especially maybe with lipedema, or if they're similar age, kind of postmenopausal women, for example? I mean, quite a common age group I see struggling with their weight, struggling with issues. What would you say to them about carnivore?
I think I would say, look, read first. I would ask them to read, if they're interested, Sally Norton's book with the oxalates, because you start taking the vegetables out, and you start learning about eliminating your vegetables, which can be a problem. And I think oxalates have a lot to do with lymphedema. I think they got us, I think around, I think it's got a lot to do with that. So then when you start thinking and also thinking of it as it's an elimination diet, then also if they, instead of just jumping into it, maybe Google or learn this a lot on the internet, how much minerals and how much goodness is actually in meat. And I mean, you can Google it, it's there. And Dr. Judy Cho, I got her book, and she has good. I think there's little uploads how much is in a ribeye and what the liver has and all those things. And so you learn that you actually get all the nutrients from animals. I mean, we sort of know salmon, is good on omega-3. I think everybody gets that message by now, but they don't have the message yet what meat actually, how good meat is, and also how good fat is. That's a very, I'm still sometimes scared to eat that, because all these years they say, not too much, and I think sometimes when I stall is I don't have enough fat, but when I increase it again, bang, down goes the scale. And I think sometimes I undereat the goodness. Plus, it's good for your hormones, and it's sort of balances those things out as well. The good fat, the butter, and all those things. But not to be scared. If they like meat, what's your favorite meat? All right, cut it up and make a stir fry, and start slowly. Have a steak on the barbecue, maybe start with barbecues first, Get yourself an air fryer, that's the best. That's my COVID thing, the air fryer. I don't think I could do without it. I got a Thermomix. I sometimes make my own mince in there too. I do steaming. I learned how to steam egg puddings, and I make that all in there. So I use my barbecue at least a couple of times a week as well. So so it's not. And when you actually, if you start, maybe your first meal should be a ribeye, and with a little bit of butter on top of it. The French call it entrecôte, maybe even a bit of garlic butter to start off with, or herb butter, if you, just to start you off with. And you see how full you are without the vegetable. And then you go, oh, I'm not hungry. And that's, I think, the start, because they think, oh, it's only a piece of steak. But they don't realize it's actually filling.
Yeah. Is that how you got started?
Yeah. And one thing I learned too over the years, even if they only do keto or keto is always eat your protein first, then your vegetables, or even if you still have rice or, whatever, or a bit starchy, if you're only low carb, eat your meats, your protein first, then your vegetable, and then your carb, because by the time you get to your carbs, you're probably full and you're not eating it, or not much at all. And that slowly gets you down. And then I would just definitely get rid of all the sugar, get all out, because it's not good, because you're just clear. And Carnivore is just the next level up, it's a step up. And don't take my word for it. Don't take your word for it. Look it up, read up, listen to people, and make up your own mind. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I say to my patients. Don't take my word for it. Just go listen to people, do some research, make your own mind up, just experience the food, eat a steak. Exactly what I say. Just cook a steak. Just don't cook the vegetables with it. Or have them on the plate. Just don't eat them, or eat them last, and just eat the steak. Leave it at that. I promise you're not going to die, because you can eat vegetables for one meal. And sometimes that's all it takes for them to just go, oh, wow, actually, I didn't die. I can actually just not eat vegetables, and it is okay. And then they realize, okay, maybe actually I don't need these every single meal. And that's kind of then that, kind of mind the gateway, I suppose, into it. You've name dropped a lot of people and a lot of books, and I'll put them all in
Oh, yeah, you
the
have to put
description
all
for the
that in
episode.
because
Yeah.
those people are helping, and Dr. Sean Baker and all those people, they're helping, and they've been doing it for so long now. And if you can follow them, like, or if you are on the internet and all that, if you can follow those people, they have so much good advice. And I'm actually doing a challenge at the moment with what's his name, Dr. O'Meara, with a group, not with him personally, and because to lose all this extra fat, because I'm on the last 20 kilos, I'm panicking. And I said, how can I lose it? And then he goes, you have to run. Yeah, sure, I can't run, right? 10 seconds and then stop, 10 seconds, stop. So you lose all this other fat inside you. And I said, oh, yeah, what else can I do? Okay. And then I said, maybe on my little bike. So I'm doing it different. I just do sprinting on my push bike, and so I learn different things, and I do my weights, and I do my push bike. And so I'm still doing it, even the other ones are running. And I thought, oh, yeah, that feels good. And I'll do more of it now. And so it's little steps, and it's there, So if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I don't like exercise,
Yeah. Again, you're finding what works for you, and that's really the key thing, I'm conscious of time. We've only got a couple of minutes left on the recording. Now you mentioned obviously, being on the internet now. I know you're on Instagram. How can people find you on Instagram if they're wanting to follow you and your journey?
Yeah, it's Elsbeth in Ketosis, and in Facebook it's just Elsbeth Roth on Facebook. Yeah. And so I'm happy if anybody wants to contact me, to have a chat. Quite happy to help somebody, and because that's what we have to do, help each other, and then we get better. And I'm so glad that we have more functional doctors like you who understand. I'm lucky here too. My doctor here too, his father was a diabetic. Oh, I was pre-diabetic too, and that's all good now too. My sugar level is.
Oh, wow.
What was it this morning? 3.1 when I got up. So that's I'm happy. And it used to be really
fair
high.
Enough. Fair enough.
And,
as long as you're all right with that, that's
I'm happy with that. I think that's good, isn't it? Yeah. And yes.
As long as you're not having any hypos, then yes, that's fine.
No, I'm all good. I'm all good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so Facebook, Instagram, I always upload a little bit my stories and things, and help people.
That's amazing. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure I put all those links in the description. We're pretty much out of time, Elspeth, but thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Your story is incredible. Hopefully you've been a real inspiration for people out there in a similar position like yourself. Everyone make sure they go follow Elspeth on Instagram, and thank you for coming on the show today.
Thanks very much. Okay. Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys for joining with this episode of the Meat Medic podcast. We'll see you in the next episode.